Nene's AFK anyways, so I was just getting it started anyways. I'm gonna sit here and eat food. Oh gosh,
Butts.
Whoa, watch the language. I should probably log into Roll20.
Probably.
All
I waited till I got the notification that it went live on YouTube. That's when I started shouting it.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna play D&D tonight.
Yes. No, I'm not missing. I can't do the crawl, not because of the date tomorrow, but because, well, actually I have to push that Saturday anyway, but because I had something else I didn't know was going on tomorrow.
Well, by the way, we're not starting the crawl tomorrow night. Oh my gosh, you would wait until I went live. I have to mute my microphone. I'm gonna do a phone call I have to answer.
Brandon, you have made a poor decision.
You didn't mute it? Okay. DM muting the microphone on air. How unprofessional.
So, while we have you all here, let's spoil the ending in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah!
Let's not.
I actually don't know it because I don't have the game, and I'm sad.
Well, it turns out the darkness and the light were actually the one person, and it's God, and actually Jesus is actually makes an appearance. He's actually the guy who's running the dark side. It's actually Jesus.
Dumbledore dies.
And there's like 17 more Xehanorts popping out of nowhere.
The funny thing is that part could actually be true.
And it all turns into an advertisement for Disney World.
That part is definitely true.
Yeah, have you seen the summons?
They actually literally have attractions that you summon,
Mickey Mouse,
which is literally just the rides.
King Mickey.
And it's in Master Yen Sid, which is just Disney backwards. Who's your guiding, like, your teacher.
Well, he was also Mickey's teacher in Fantasia.
Fantasia, yeah.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, Willow, you should berate Brandon for leaving us.
Hi, Willow. Hi, Jasper. Brandon did a bad thing.
First, he pushes the stream back, then he has to take a phone. I mean, come on. Also, we're in the real world, and that's really weirding me out. I forgot where we left off last time.
I think
We were investigating a possible drug den hidden in the city.
We were?
By, like, the docks, I think.
Yeah, because we're staying in Carter's house, and part of Carter's job right now is to get that cleared up.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck, we don't have JJ.
I just remember being at that person's house, that's it. Then taking a dive, and then... Yeah.
I think you were drunk last session, weren't you?
Me?
Yeah.
No. I don't think I was.
Thought you
I
said
was
you
just
didn't
like-
really.
I was just really excited to get to real water.
No, I mean in real life.
Oh, in real... No. Yeah, no. I don't think I've been drunk for any... I've been tipsy for, like, one session, but not not last week. Last 2 weeks.
I got super drunk on my my Sunday night game one night, and I still somehow became the leader of my group.
That's amazing.
Everybody just don't fight. Just let it kill us.
Come here, Altus. You're about to experience the bridge one more time.
Oh boy, really?
I've actually never been, like, fully drunk during... I want to do a drunk D&D session, but, like, in real life. But it's hard, because, like, the one D&D session I meet in real life, we have to drive. And it's at his, like, work, so I can't stay over or anything. But I want to have a group of friends where, like, I can just stay over at their place. And get drunk and play D&D.
Yeet.
Because it honestly sounds like a hell of a fun time.
Willow is afraid right now. Be afraid, Willow. Be very afraid. Now it's just fun to see how long the delay is. JJ's not coming tonight, by the way.
Oh no. We're missing 2 people.
3. Jack had to go.
Oh, that's right, 3 people. Oh.
But JJ is not really a part of the group anymore.
Yeah, he's kind of there for like the, hey, we're back, and we're in the city. Remember we're in a guild? I'm gonna be sad without him, though.
So in-game, technically we're missing Dusty, we're missing Icium. I forget whose everybody's characters is.
Bradley is Icium, Dusty is Jackal, and Carter as the person whose house we dropped in on. He's JJ, but he's just guest starring.
Ah, okay.
God, you'd think with the 40 people I interact with in these sessions, I would forget who is who. Grax, stop playing Kingdom Hearts.
You're gonna get copyright striked. You're gonna get us copyright striked.
No one watches this.
Damn.
And wait for that to pop up in chat.
Brandon's just gonna come back and be like so sad. Just be like, hey, I just watched all that chat. Thanks, Celebris.
I never said I was a nice person.
True.
The reason I remember everything, Willow, is because I have no life. And JJ just saw it. This is gonna be a weird conversation for Jasper right now, because Willow's talking to me in the chat, and I'm responding on here, and Jasper's just like, what the hell are you talking about? But no, Willow, I've seen your Minecraft server. I know you're just as bad as me in that aspect. God, this goes on any longer, we're gonna turn it into an ASMR session. I'm gonna roll my die, and... oh, look at that, it's a 20.
We're just gonna roll for initiative here.
Ooh, that's a nice,
When's he gonna let it go? We got a good roll going on here.
oh, that sounds like a good one. What'd you get there, Tracy?
We've got an 11 for the barbarian. A 4 for the monk. Not a good day to be a monk.
Yeah, but as a monk you can get a few more hits in, so it's not too bad.
Ooh, and a 16 for the warrior, a fine roll. And he will be going first today, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, excellent, excellent. With that action surge, that's gonna be a big hunk of damage there.
Oh god, he's gonna come back. People are just gonna be like, "Yeah, can you just turn into an ASMR channel?"
Willow is freaking out right now.
Is she in the live chat?
Yes, to go to the live chat. Oh god. And this, folks, is why you don't leave the children unattended.
I believed. I mean, probably. Nothing's going on.
I'll have you know I'm turning 12 tomorrow. I am not a child.
I'm a big boy now.
I'm a big boy. I'm double digits now.
I know basic multiplication. I can get a job.
I know a 7-syllable word.
I just want to see someone flex that, like on Facebook.
I mean, to be fair, with Common Core, I don't think I could do their basic multiplication system now.
I haven't even seen the new math shit. I've heard that stuff has changed, and I'm not good with that stuff.
Yeah, I've heard people like complain about it, but I'm like, is it the same as when I was a kid? Because I'm pretty sure we had Common Core when I was a kid.
New math is like dark magic.
That's right, Jasper. Fight the power. Just watching the live chat and seeing this all seeing the reactions from Willow is just amazing to me.
12? We're not 12.
Pranene is.
Yeah, I'm 14. What? I'm practically dead, alright?
I mean, once you have to start driving places, your life is forfeit, right? You can't just call people.
Tracy.
So bleak. What?
We want your age, not your IQ.
Oh, alright, that's 74.
Your age is 74? Or your IQ is 74?
He's 74 with a 14 IQ. The World War II did a real number on him.
Well, he is a dwarf, and we've seen his actions in games, so that makes
as well as my micro penis.
Yes, we've all seen the micro penis.
Oh my god!
I got the worst roll possible on.
I forgot about that. I actually forgot about that.
How could you forget about Altus's micro penis?
I literally don't wear clothes besides a cloak and boots.
He's like Puss in Boots, only a dwarf.
But significantly less cubes.
Just a very delusional dwarf.
And Willow wants to burn my house to the ground.
So
Jasper,
I just
you did this
come
to
back to
yourself.
hear Willow wants to burn my house to the ground. I have to text my boss one thing and then we'll get started.
You have missed so much.
Brandon, don't look at the chat. Don't listen to anything they're saying.
Don't look at the chat. Gosh, it's
They're
probably all going to
heretics.
be deleted in a second.
No, not the chat in-game, the chat in the live campaign.
Aspects of school, climate, and culture relevant to your work.
Just for you to have a heads up, Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
Jasper's in the channel. She wanted to listen in, but she's not talking. She's got herself completely muted. He's got himself completely muted, excuse me.
Okay, that's fine.
He didn't want to use his data to use YouTube, so he just went on Discord.
That's perfectly fine. Okay, what are we doing tonight? Who's Dungeon Mastering? This thing should have been started forever ago. Viva
Brandon.
la Revolution? What's going on here? Brandon, come back.
Brandon, don't just when you review the session next time, just cut out the first 20 minutes or so, and you'll be fine.
Okay. We are starting, so I'm going to move this over here, make sure everybody's on a good page, and bam. Oh, wait, before I start, I should do a roll call. Anthony's there, I heard him. Taylor, are you there? Taylor's AFK. Tracy, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, cool. Tracy and Taylor are there. Pranene, are you there?
Yep.
Cool, and I'll be controlling Dusty and Icium tonight. Oh, I didn't ask. Did you guys want to postpone or something? You're missing 2 party members. I'm perfectly fine with controlling all of them because they don't make good decisions anyways.
I mean, we're basically doing a brand new thing, so I figured not much is like.
There's not much set, but I do feel like there might be a lot of plot tonight.
Okay.
You're getting it. So it's
None of those were answers, so we're going ahead anyways.
Alright.
I was gonna say we're good going ahead in my eyes. I don't think.
I'm fine either way. Whatever makes everyone else happy.
Yeah, because I feel like we're not going to be missing any major like fight. If it's just I feel like just plot is going to be most of what's tonight, and we can always explain that.
And just so you know, Brandon, I texted, I messaged JJ for you. He said he's not going to be able to make it tonight, too.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. He informed me before. Okay, so before we get started tonight, I want to show this off. It's my butt. It's a pretty good butt. No, I'm kidding. Periodically, Wizards of the Coast release these art books of some of their settings for Magic the Gathering. And they released one for Ravnica to accompany a book that they released a little bit ago, which I'll show that off too, called Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica. So you have like an actual like artistic visual of the setting and the cityscapes and some of the locations and the major characters and the alleyways and the 10th district. It's so beautiful, and I cannot praise these art books enough. I'm not getting paid for this, but God, I just wish I was. Let me just like look at this. Look at this. It's an angel over a fallen soldier inside of what is this? The 10th district? I think it is, or it's the Boros district. But God, it's just beautiful. Anyways, so I will be borrowing a lot on this because there are parts of Ilderon Tales that potentially might look like pieces of Ravnica. So if you guys see me flipping through the art book for Ravnica, it's not because I'm pulling any rulings, it's because I'm pulling inspiration. Anyways, though, we are getting started tonight. I don't even know how long this video has been going, but welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group C, Through the Heart, Episode 9. And I want to say you guys are close to your climax because I was hoping each of these campaigns would be about 10 episodes long, and then we'd start the next one. But who really knows? Like, who really even knows?
Was our climax not getting out of the...
No, I expected you guys to be out of Isildred on Episode 4. So...
Well then.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you guys ended up getting out on Episode 6. Did I label this right? I don't know. Maybe I'll have to go back and look.
It was
at
a lot more than 6.
Maybe it was. Yeah, who knows? Anyways, though, I'm going to open this up for us to do a recap since it's been 2 weeks, and we'll go around the group, starting with the person who's been in the group the longest to the newest member. And you can take as long or as short as you need. I try and keep it short so we can have more playtime, but who cares tonight? Because what's time anyways but an illusion. So give us 2 sentences. One about who your character is. Well, let's do 3 sentences tonight. Who your character is, what they did last session, and what they're hoping to achieve this session. And we're going to start with Mr. Taylor controlling Lumigrax. Sharp inhale. I will not accept that as an answer, Taylor, unless you grunt. Alright, Skip and Taylor, who probably has his mic muted or something. And moving on to Tracy!
Hello.
Is that your whole answer? Are you guys trolling me?
I kind of faced out there, I'm sorry.
Oh, Brandon,
right.
you haven't seen the trolling yet until you watch the first part of this.
Okay, well,
We came in super ready and serious, and then we had just 20 minutes of debauchery of this channel.
It was an ASMR session. It was...
Okay, so I guess moving on to the next character who's been here the longest, Pranene. Give us 3 sentences or a sound, I guess, because that's what everybody else has been doing of Netra in last session.
Splish splash.
Taking a bath.
Like, literally just excited to be around real...
I think that's all Netra got to do with, like, experience water.
Alright.
Yeah,
I mean, that's all she
went for a
needs.
swim.
Honestly, that's all she needs.
And finally, Anthony controlling Celebris.
Oh boy. Okay. So last session we got back to... Wow, my brain. Dockensdale.
Well, I mean, you could...
I just had a Tracy moment.
You could literally say that, and you said, like, 3,000% more than everybody else.
We got back to Dockensdale. Carter came down. Dusty stole things. Carter threatened to kill people. Found out about Altus. Wanted to kill Altus more. Told us we have to help him stop this drug den that's going on because his guild is funding the shelter that is exploiting those people. Should I also go into the guest appearance I did?
No. Well, you can. It's up to you. It can be as long or short as you want. If you're watching the webcam right now, I'm eating food. So, whenever you're done, I'm gonna also do a recap.
Okay. So yeah, we did all that, and then in Group B, that Saturday afterwards, Celebris showed up at the Kalkan office and dropped about 20 different lore bombs on Group B, and was told by the head of the Kalkan office there to stay put.
Stay in Dawn Touch, specifically.
Yeah.
Alright, and what's he hoping to do this session?
Find a way to get back to Ardor.
Okay, and let's go through everybody. Taylor, are you there? But, Tracy, are you there?
Yes.
What's Altus want to do this session?
Ooh, that's
Put
a
on
hard
some
one.
damn clothes.
No, not yet. I think I still have them, but not yet. It's not the time.
Oh, you know what? I'm going to do the recap, and then we'll do this, because that would be more professional. Okay, so, last session started off on the 14th of the month of Hunter. The party had just returned back to Ilderon. They teleported into the guild hall of the Eye of the Magtip in the middle of the night. It started off on the 13th of Hunter, and then it was moving into the 14th. Anyways, when they got back to the guild hall, Carter Banecaller, Guildmaster Carter Banecaller was there, saw everybody had came back, had informed them that they had been classified as dead, and said that everybody could sleep in the guild house for the night, and would discuss what to do with them in the morning. The morning of the 14th of Hunter came around, and Altus made plans with Lydia to go to Pramada Watch to try and use Lydia's influence to help do some good for Isildred and for whatever she can for Dockensdale. Lydia informed Altus that the reason, one of the reasons that she was captured was she was broken out of prison. And the reason she was in prison was because when the party didn't return, Lydia hid under her desk for 2 days and caused a crisis of leadership in Dockensdale. until a new Supreme Light arrived and essentially removed her from office and arrested her. That said, Lydia is a fugitive and is going to go back to what is now Primata Watch and try and argue her case. From there, the party all met up for breakfast, and the guild recruiter, Octus Kaigarin, Octus Kaigarin, described to the party everything that happened in the last 16 years as far as major political events, as some of the members had been stuck in Isildred for that long, and the rest of the party had been out of the spotlight for about 2 to 3 weeks of in-game time. Out of the events that happened that the party missed, Dockensdale is at war. There is a 4-way conflict between Dockensdale, Arter Sarai, the catacomb creature that Group C released, which is one of the Calgarans, and then the Archblight has a force within Lil Nagai's countryside, and these 3 opposing armies are making Lil Nagai's life a absolute hell as they try and hold this war front against all of these invading forces. And with that, Carter informed the party that he had been sponsoring a refugee camp for people affected by this crisis within Dockensdale. He had become a financial sponsor of the camp as a goodwill measure, and while sponsoring the camp, people have been showing up dead at the camp, and presumably there is a drug outbreak in the camp. Carter has asked that that the party, as guild members, go and help him remove the drug problem from the refugee camp so that they can flee for their lives in peace, I guess. And the party went with Carter to basically scope out what was going on. You guys met a merchant by the name of... Where is she? She's in the other folder. You guys met a merchant. She is a high elf who was running the refugee camp for Carter. Rakath. Nope, that's not her. Average in. Okay, she's probably on my other sheets. Anyways, she's a high elf who was running the refugee camp for Carter. And she informed Carter that she would have the problem taken care of by increasing security and being more, I guess, forward with seeing what is brought into the camp and who is brought into the camp. And that hopefully no more bodies will show up of people overdosing on drugs. From there, Altus and Dusty split off from the party. Altus, I have to remember you guys are both short, and I'm just blending you into one person. Altus got received his black book back in the morning, and got a sending from the mysterious figure who gave it to him, saying to meet him by the docks in Shadowside. When he went there, he found the man who initially gave him the book and tricked him into killing his first master. And the man was impressed that Altus had seen Isildred and revealed that he had been a part of Isildred's creation, and that Isildred was a mistake and is not going to be replicated again. That said, he wasn't aware that Altus was still alive, as Isildred hides basically anyone who is inside of there from any type of scrying or divination. And that he had recruited a new apprentice to replace Altus. He favors the new apprentice, but there's also things he sees worth note in Altus, and said that he's going to have the two of them fight it to the death, and the one that lives will get to be his student, and that he's going to sick his new apprentice on Altus at some unexpected time to keep Altus on his toes. Altus, I don't really even know how he reacted to that. Was just kind of like, okay. And then the man left. I don't think he revealed his name to you.
Nope.
Okay, cool. And then from there, the party started heading back from the refugee camp, from Sunside towards the guild house. And Altus went back to the guild house too. And when Altus was on his way to the guild house, he ran... I remember where we're at. He ran into the fruit merchant, whose donkey he police commandeered, left, and it starved to death inside of the Kayas Coast, and Alil Haran had to... no, not Alil Haran. Lysina had to pay the fine, or had to pay the debt on the donkey, and basically give the fruit merchant the money for it. She billed Altus for the expense, and Altus thought he'd do a nice thing and get a replacement donkey for this fruit merchant. In doing so, he asked his new semi-master for the ability to magically create a donkey for this woman, and the spellcaster acquiesced and sent a new spell into Altus's book. On the spot, Altus learned the spell Find Steed, but also had like one of those moments of just like spazzing out and having a seizure of just like having this information funneled directly into his brain through demonic, or not demonic, but possibly evil means. And on the street, the fruit merchant saw him collapse and ran over to help him. She couldn't understand what was going on and called the guards to help him. The guards noticed his magical item, and it was a magical item of unknown origins, which required that it be investigated by the Risen to determine if he's allowed to have it. And Altus ran into the guild house and asked Lysina for her help. Lysina told him that her help comes with the cost, and she temporarily held off the Risen, and she has a task for Altus. So the rest of the party is headed back to the guild house. One last thing, on the way back to the guild house, Celebrus has went ahead of the party and said that he would meet back up with them, and went into the Calcan office. So he is indisposed for that time. We're gonna pick up right where we left off with Mr. Altus.
Oh boy!
Oh yeah. Okay, so you are inside of the Eye of the Magtiff guild hall in Dockensdale. In front of you is the door. You are inside the storeroom, and light is coming through all of the windows. Lysina, let me pull her up for you, is standing in front of the doorway, blocking your path. She has just saved you from the Risen guards. And she's going to go on and say, my help does not come free, as you're no longer a part of this guild.
What's your price?
And she's gonna think about it for a second and say, that crime lord that you and your group were tracking weeks ago before you disappeared, Cardrin.
What of him? The one that Carter let go?
Well, you actually don't know Carter.
I don't know that. That's right. That's right.
And she's gonna say, you may have caught him in his den, but he slipped through our grip inside the city. We paid for information on him, and our information has told us he's fled Dockensdale. But I know he's lying low in this city.
So you want me to find him?
She's going to nod and say he killed 3 Risen members, 3 of my sisters. And she's gonna shake her head and say, I don't want you just to find him.
Ooh. Oh, let me see now. Okay.
And she says, and if a trace, or if a speck of this traces back to the guild, or Master Banecaller, or anyone else finds out, I can promise you that book will be locked so deep in Pramada Watch, you'll have to fill out 3 forms in triplicate before you're even allowed to think about it.
Oh, hey, so, alright, guess it's good I'm not a part of the guild anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go and, I guess, murder a guy for you now. I've already got a lot going on, but... We'll add murder, alright.
She's going to stink eye you the whole way, and or she's going to stink eye you as she just walks away from the door towards the stairs, and she's gonna call back and say, "Not a trace." And yeah, she's headed upstairs.
I'm going to go out the back.
Okay, well, you were originally coming here to talk to Lydia. Do you want to handle the donkey?
Yeah, no, I do want to handle that. Let's handle Lydia first.
Okay.
I forgot, because when I was coming back, I forgot about all that, because the event happened, and then I just came in to hide.
Yeah, I know. You came in and screamed, "Politics! Politics!"
Is Lydia not with us?
She's back at the guild hall. So you guys asked her to stay there. You guys have a set of pretty decently strong criminals guarding your guild house for you, so people don't mess with it.
But we ourselves are not criminals.
Yeah, you're not criminals. They are.
Allegedly.
Anyways, though, we're gonna come back to Altus, and we're gonna jump to the rest of the party. So the rest of the party just left Sunside. By the time you guys catch up with Celebris, the rest of the party left Sunset Hold, and you are on Sunside headed back to the guild house. By the time you catch up with Celebris, he is exiting the Kelkin office, and another larger group's already exited and gone. Anyways, you guys are in the Nazram Plaza of Sunside. Do you guys want to head back to the guild house, or do you want to go to Pramada Watch, or what? Because that's going to help me with the timeline of everything. What do you guys want to do?
Wherever I can learn more, because that one person that we were trying to talk to, but she left when we were at the one who was going to tell us about like things that we wanted to know, right? So, not Octus, but the other one.
The other one who was going to tell you things you wanted to know. Was it... Oh, it was Tealy.
Yeah. She was gonna... Yeah, and then she left to do something, so like we never found out. But like, is there... Like, I assume like she's not going to be at the guild hall if we go back, right?
Yes. The party knows one of the agreements of Tealy's service is every 4th day she has off with no questions asked of what she's doing. That was something the guild agreed when they signed her contract.
Cool. Yeah, I guess. So I guess... I don't know. Let's explore the city. I don't know. Anybody else want to chime in?
Well, if you're wondering, Pranene, or
Netra.
Wow, Netra. Excuse me, my brain just pooped out on me. This building here is the Kelkin office. I told you about them, correct?
Oh yeah, you said that you were part of the Kelkin.
Yeah, they're a group of paladins and such that were formed after Kelcrest was destroyed. And apparently I just ran into a group of other adventurers. I look over at Carter.
Oh, Carter's not here. He stayed back at Sunset.
Oh, okay. Carter's not with you? Oh. Basically, when I ran into a group of adventurers, 2 of which helped me and Carter back in Ardor. And one of them, which I think you'll find most interesting, was a paladin, supposedly, who was from Kelcrest. As in, lived there at the same time you guys did. He was part of this group of people the scholars sent out before us, that they all presumed dead.
I don't remember ever meeting any other paladins when I was in...
Netra would know of one, and these are those notes forever ago that are so long and lost to the memory. I'm not going to make you roll for it.
Right.
So it's hard to tell time in Isildred, because there's no sun, there's no changing of any type of daylight. What felt like ages and ages and ages ago, but is actually 1 year of in-game time. There was a paladin named Zodra, who found a black candle of invocation. It was the one the historians said that they informed him about. When he found the candle, the Overlord sent forces to take it from him, and he used it to escape with from Isildred, and he tried to save as many people as he could. From Isildred's view of that situation, they were all slaughtered by the Overlord. Like, dozens and dozens and dozens of people. That was pretty much the last big resistance of left within inside of Isildred. They were all killed.
So,
like, there were
I would believe that nobody survived.
Yeah.
But we were the only people that ever made it out.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, I guess I'll...
But you do know Zodra was a resistance fighter there.
I didn't know her personally, but I knew of her.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so... Actually, yeah, if we want to go to the Culkin place...
But he's not there. He's not there. He left already. That's what he's
him and his adventuring group left probably, I'd say, half an hour ago. They kept me here for questions, and... Well, once I revealed what happened to Calcrest and who is responsible for it, the leader here started marshaling a order to help with the Earth Fire and then send people to Ardor to take down Draylen Madison.
Well then. I guess... I mean...
I'll be right back.
Okay, so you're just telling me this just so I, like...
I mean, I'm sure they would love more information about what's going on there if you want to go in, but... Okay, now I'm nervous. Where the hell is Altus?
I mean, it makes sense that, like, it's not over yet for Isildred, so... I guess I can go and help as much as I can.
Oh, I'm sure they're always looking for more paladins.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I'll head there.
And I mean,
are they trustworthy? Like, am I gonna be like tied up and like? will they be welcoming to somebody who's not a member of Culkin?
As a person who was literally from the city that the person who is in charge of this office was born and raised in, I'm sure you'll be a welcome guest, as the person Zodra was.
Alright. I'll head there then.
And even though Dusty's not a paladin, I'm sure
he's not really wanting to do, like... He's probably just happy not to deal with that place anymore. So I'm not gonna put it on him.
That's fair.
Alright, Netra is heading into the Calkin office.
And I'll go with her because I now have a rapport there.
Turning right back around and heading back inside. Okay, so...
Well, I wasn't expecting to run into the group stepping out.
A couple of things of note real quick that I had to pull up. I put the NPCs in a really, 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 really weird folder. And I don't know why I placed them here. But the merchant, the high elf merchant running the refugee camp is a woman by the name of Kyrelia Talarin. And then also for Anthony, the arcane sentinel in charge of this order house of the Kelkin is a woman by the name of Kakalin, Kakalin Riley's.
Is Kakalin a name you're familiar with, Zodra?
Netra.
Netra, sorry. Too many paladins from Isildred I'm dealing with right now.
Kakalin? I don't think I know Kakalin. Oh, Kaylene?
No, her name is Kakalin Riley's. She is the person in charge of this order hall.
Oh,
and she was born in Calcrest and managed to escape.
Yeah, I don't know, because I wasn't really, like, ever in Calcrest itself. I was caught outside of it. So it's not a place, like, I would know everybody who's, like, who was brought in with us, but, like, that's not the place that I spent a whole lot, I spent time there, because I was, like, I would swim the waters near it. But, yeah, it's not, like, at my hometown.
That's fair.
Alright. Stepping back inside of the Kalkin office. This is going to be a large stone building, one of the newer buildings constructed here, so it doesn't have that old like Greek temple feel to it. And is more like a modern townhouse built into all of these pueblos and everything stacked on each other within Dockensdale. In the lobby of this area, there are going to be, I think there were 6 sentinels here before. There are going to be 4 left. 2 men are going to be sitting down on a bench. One sharpening a sword. Another one loading a satchel with several quivers of arrows next to him. And there's a woman at the desk. She has a stack of books, and she's going to be, or rather, the man sitting down sharpening his sword is actually going to be the first one to speak up, and he's gonna say, God, it's gonna be, or by the gods, it's gonna feel great to actually be able to do something useful in this country. I've just felt like a glorified mercenary for the past. And then they're going to like look over at you guys entering, and Kakalin, the woman at the desk, is going to nod to Celebris and would address him by his rank, if I remember what that is.
I think I'm a sentinel?
Yeah, I'm pulling up my Calkin form now. You are a investigator.
Investigator, that's right.
Yep. And she's gonna say investigator Vegas. Or Vega.
Yes, I have returned. I mentioned in our talks of a couple of my companions who were also in Calcrest with me, who were actually there the entire time it's been gone. And he'll present Zodra, or Netra, 2 paladins from Isildred with very similar sounding names. Why do you people do this to me? Netra, and say, this is Netra. She is a paladin that was living and surviving in Calcrest the entire time.
She's gonna look over at Netra, inspect her up and down, and her first comment's gonna be you're blue. Is that a result of the
I'm a water Ganassi.
Yeah, and she's gonna shake her head and say, I'm unfamiliar. But nevertheless, she's gonna say, we're bonded through our experience. Were you, there, during the incident?
I was in the waters nearby. I was in the holy waters nearby.
She, nods and says, we're preparing now because we're tasked with glorious purpose. I fear the same misfortune is coming to the rest of the world, and it's she's gonna stop herself and say, "Oh, you've been stuck in that dreaded city. You don't know who we are."
Slowbus has informed me that you're the same people that the same organization that he works with.
She nods and says, from that day, the day Calcrest sank beneath beneath the waters, and everybody lost their lives. We, those of us who survived, we were bonded in this purpose, and our struggles and our stripes, we found each other, and we each made the vow to never let a magical catastrophe like that happen to anybody else's home. We work between nations, between laws, between rules to do what's right, no matter the situation. Or the Kalkin.
Have you stopped anybody since?
She is gonna nod, and the man sharpening his sword is gonna say, oh, dozens of them, possibly hundreds. Most of the time, we do. And she's going to hold up her hand and say, our methods now involve a heavy amount of prevention. We investigate matters before they get to that level and execute without mercy and without hesitation what needs to be done.
And that's part of my job, is finding situations that require intervention.
I'm gonna ask them if they know why the sudden appearance of these sort of conspiracy.
How does Netra ask that? Phrase that question for me.
What do you believe is behind the arrival and the massive amounts of conspiracies like Calcrest? What do you think is behind how people are getting the ability to do it, or how people are getting even the idea to commit another event like that?
She is, she's gonna think about it, for a second. And she's, gonna say, well, when you think about Ilderon's, history, and other times things like this have happened, the, worst wars and the worst catastrophes have either spawned from a lust for power, or someone being afraid of death. I don't know how the destruction of Calcrest aided in either of those, but if I had to guess, those would be my first two.
I'm gonna ask if... Oh, sorry.
A lot of things have changed in these 16 years you've been locked away, Netra. Evil and dark actions of people, those are the same.
What's the biggest threat that has been... what was the biggest threat to another event like Calchrist since in those 16 years?
The disappearance of the Earthfire is what I would think.
You say that, but she's gonna tilt her head side to side and say, the Earthfires are, at this point in history, functionally useless. They're religious sites of great holy importance, but I wouldn't say the loss of one is a major detriment to the safety of any nation. And she's gonna look at Netra and say, probably since you've been gone, a few months ago, the Crimson Crusades broke out in Red Axe. The Consummate openly started worshipping demons and counseling with otherworldly forces. She killed thousands. The Calcan intervened, though, before the situation could get worse. Red Axe, right now, is under a negotiated ceasefire.
Celebris, as she's talking about this, kind of looks off to the side.
I'm gonna ask one last question, be like, so why did it take so long to find out who was behind Calchrist's disappearance? Sure, I just found out that that the people who we thought had died actually did make it back, so with the available information they must have had, just why did 16 years and nobody
knew? One year. The person's only been back for 1 year. And she's gonna say, it's my understanding that he was seen as a lunatic, and he worked as a mercenary for several years for several months inside of Nazaram. This is the first I've heard of it.
And if what he says is true, he was the only one that made it.
But even still, 16 years, assume that you actually took efforts to look into it.
She nods and says, when we could, we searched for any and every survivor we could. We rounded them up, and that's how the Calcan was formed. But scrying, divination, even the ruins of the city, nothing. It was all gone.
And I'm not talking about, like, finding out where the people are. I'm talking about finding out who caused it, because a magical act like that...
The only reason I found out about who did it, or at least the involvement of it, was by pure happenstance. The man who I have information... The man Draylin is... I'll put it simply, he's a noble, cunning bastard who knows ways to hide his trail. The only reason we found out about it is by happenstance we managed to intercept some letters of his for a completely separate reason.
Could I add a character something?
Sure.
Real quick. Not only did you intercept his ciphered letters, you had a linguist whose specialty was deciphering languages, codes, and scripts. And
that I had to help decipher too.
And she rolled like a nat 20 on a final like investigation check to just be like, this can't be right. According to this, it says Calchrist is, and Calchrist definitely isn't. This has to be a typo, and it was like the tiniest little thing you guys found.
It's not a bridge thing.
Yeah, it's not an aha moment that Celebris is going off of. It was a very just like, wait, what is this? Like the tiniest scrap of a clue was just left uncovered. And you guys were very, very fortunate that you probably had one of the only 3 people in all of Ilderon with you who could have like picked up on it.
The letters he had used to communicate with were written in several different languages and script. if it wasn't for a friend of ours, I don't know if anyone else could have deciphered him. It was just pure luck. There's no other way around it.
This actually kind of pisses me off even more, because like I'm like slowly getting angry at like that this group has been trying to find out for years the same thing, and it's luck. It's not good detection. It's not actual work. It's luck that figures it out.
That's fair. How's Netra displaying this anger?
Just with like stares of death, and just sort of like gripping my my like mason shit, sort of like not like gripping it, sort of like wanting to pull it out, but gripping it sort of like, I'm just like really.
Netra, I understand your anger and hostility right now, but let's not focus on the how, but what we can do about it. With your help, we could probably save the city. Everyone's still inside. We can stop the people who caused this and prevent it from ever happening again.
I'm gonna ask if they have, since they now know, if they've already sent people off to fight Draylen, right? Like they've already sent people to like take him down, right?
Probably not yet, because the conversation I had about that with them in game time was less than an hour probably ago.
So, but like things are starting to mobilize for that effort.
Yeah.
So, do they have any idea like how he do they know how he did it? Do they know what steps to take to undo it? Like, have they ever dealt with anything? Do they have any people even close enough skilled to like understand and break it down? Because it's really just a pointless.
Several things that are very important, and I explained this at the end of last video for you guys, that I want your group to be aware of. Isildrad is called Isildrad for a reason. You guys know there is a Death Knight there in service to a powerful mage named Yisil. That mage has disappeared. The Overlord, named Caldris Neltig, claims dominion over Calcrest for being its savior, not its destroyer. He claims he is the reason everybody is still alive inside the city. People, I think I said Netra knows, but now the whole party knows that, well, at least most of the party knows, Caldris Neltig did not destroy Calcrest. He, however, is ruling it as an evil overlord. The person that destroyed Calcrest is unknown. You guys have a hint as to who that person is, and you know there is a man named Tengu of the Shadows that the Death Knight asked you guys to kill, that stole something from the person who destroyed Calcrest. That said, Altus, as a character, has a lot more information on this, as he actually spoke with somebody who helped create Isildrad and destroy Calcrest and create Isildrad.
Yeah.
That is information you guys have as a group that I want you to be aware of as a player.
Wait. They know that I know?
No, they don't know you know, but
okay.
I just want, like, your group, so you guys don't waste your session playtime on, you know, things that have been explained as a group.
Okay.
They don't know the information Altus has, but they know that Alexin has a special set of gauntlets that he said he would give to Icium and Lumigrax if they killed a person by the name of Tengu of the Shadows. They know the Death Knight is in service to a powerful, mysterious mage named Yisil. Isildrad is not called Neltig Dread. It is not called Calcrest. It got its name from someplace. However, anybody who would know that name or why it got it is dead. And you know that mage has gone missing. as far as, he came, he was gone, the city was being destroyed, and then within the destruction, Overlord Calcrest showed up as a savior, and basically for some reason claims he is the one who saved the city. But I will stop interrupting and let you guys get back to role-playing. Sorry. I got carried away.
That's good. Yeah, I'm just sort of like... I don't know, I guess I'm just sort of like... still a little bit angry that nothing has happened for so long.
Yeah, and let's see if she can read your frustration. And yeah, on a nat 20 she is. Like, she's gonna understand this, and she's gonna say, look, I just found out that my home still exists. And found out that my father was alive until a few months ago. Or, until a year ago. This is revelations to me. I feel the same fury you do. And I want to find the people responsible for this, and I want to drag them to the light. And I want them to bleed, and I want them to suffer for what they've done.
Who is her father?
Blank Rylese. I forgot what I said his first name was. He was one of the people that fought with Zodra. He was killed.
Oh, okay, so he died.
Yeah,
okay.
He was killed when Zodra tried to get everybody out. And basically, that was one of the things that most citizens knew of, just like, oh yeah, let's not associate with Zodra because you're probably gonna die. And that.
Wait, Zodra was only there a year ago? Because I thought like the last attempt was like 10 years ago or something.
No, it was a year ago.
Okay.
But I mean, it felt like 10 years ago, especially when you don't have a calendar. And she's gonna say, I want to see them bleed, and I want to see them suffer for what they've done. I want to see them face every sort of justice Citadel has to offer to them. But we still have a duty that we have to uphold. The Earthfire is being threatened, and although nothing terrible of significance has happened from Ardor Sarai losing theirs, it still falls on us to help defend it.
So then, what information do you want, or what do you need help with? I'm just gonna open up right away and just say, okay, fine. So, what do you need help understanding?
She is gonna say, work with Investigator Vega. He's been tasked with keeping an eye on Dawn Touch while we aid our numbers to the Earthfire. And she's gonna smile at Celebris and say every investigator gets moved up to a seeker after they train an apprentice.
I'll let that fall as it may. We could use the numbers, but I don't know if Netra wants to be a part of the organization right now. I really don't. I will let her make that decision on her own.
I kind of want to find like a local monastery that's of the same faith of Darenthal.
Does Netra say that out loud?
Actually, yeah. You know what? I'd be like, are there any monasteries nearby that are of the Darenthal faith, or welcoming to the Darenthal faith?
Yeah, and she's going to laugh and say, no, not until you get over the border. This is a country that serves our blessed goddess Alilia. Alona is... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Alona Guy is very strict on their religious practices here.
Is that something recent, or would I have known that?
Yeah.
Like, is that something that was...
Illunagai, before, probably since you've gotten back, the countries became more religiously unified.
Okay.
Before, there were other religions here, but the official religion was the Wills. Now, like, everybody you see has, like, a symbol of the given Wills on them.
That's disappointing.
The Crusades, baby!
Don't feel bad. My religion...
I'm gonna say that out loud, though. That, like, that's disappointing.
Yeah. Celebris goes, don't feel bad. My religion isn't followed here either.
What religion are you?
I am a believer of Valrir. The Chantry of Harmony.
Okay.
Duino is going to speak up to that, the man who was sharpening his sword, and say, the forest ended. There's good grit to that.
It's where I trained to learn my fighting. They were good to me for the most part. As he said with a solemn smile on his face.
Mm-hmm. Solemn. Alright, so do you guys want to do anything else here at this guild hall? Because
Celebris would just ask if any response has been made from Makan or Kytrina yet about the message.
She's gonna point and say, it's... The messenger just left.
I didn't know if they said ascending. That's why I was asking, sorry.
Yeah, they don't have very powerful mages in the Calcrest, or in the Calkin. Those that do work at the quarters.
That's fair. That's why I was... For some reason I thought it was going to be ascending. That's why I was asking in my head. Sorry.
Yeah. Alright. So where do you guys want to head from the Calkin office?
Well, I promised you, Netra, we would go to the library here and you could study up on things if you still want to today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go study up then.
Grax,
Assume that the books at least aren't only religion related.
Grax, if you want to tag along with us, you're more to, but it might be better if you guys go make sure Altus isn't burning something to the ground.
Altus would burn something to the ground, whether I'm there or not.
Yeah. Especially if Dusty's there too.
Fair. My life got more complicated, me and you all, somehow or another. Shall we?
At least it's not boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, so you guys are heading to the guild hall?
The library.
Okay,
As we had promised. Yeah, I know. We had promised Netra.
No. I love you guys, and I'm not trying to make your lives difficult. But learning is a pastime in Illunagai. There are people teaching on the streets. There are classes at Anthalar. There are book merchants everywhere. There would be a public vault of knowledge inside of Pramada Watch. There are also paid libraries that have specific areas of study that they have resource materials available for you, of just like you pay an entrance fee to go in and then you can access all of their materials. Would you guys be trying to find the nearest one, or would you be trying to look up anything specific?
Just anything history related, like nothing, not anything of like the last recent history, like nothing too grandiose, I guess. I figure like even just a general library will have like a recent history sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna send you guys to Pramada Watch over the river to access their public vault.
What I was gonna say is, if the Calc, because me and Netra wouldn't know anything about this city. If the Kelkin suggests Pramada Watch, I would suggest, well, we could go get our guest. I believe she wanted to head to Pramada Watch and speak with the current person in charge of the city as it is. We could probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone that way.
I actually want to pick up Gelsina on the way. I feel like I want to
Gelsina and Lydia and Aloharan.
Yeah.
If anything, those 2 might be able to get us into some more deeper knowledge areas if need be.
Yeah, I just want Gelsina to learn about the world with me, I guess. Gelsina won't give a shit, but I'm sure Gelsina would.
Alright. So you guys head back to the guild house. We're switching over to Altus.
Yay.
Young.
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, sorry, Brandon. I didn't mean to try to steamroll you.
No, you're fine. I didn't want to be that guy of just like, you guys are like, we head to the library, and then I'm just like, which library? There's so many. Anyways, though, go
In
ahead.
character, it's completely understandable for Celebris and Netra to not know this, and Grax probably doesn't give a shit.
That's fair. We head to the books, but there are books everywhere. We go to the books. Hit the stacks. Alright, so,
Grax is.
my brain derped out. Altus, you are inside the guild hall. You head to Lydia's room. She was staying with Aloharan. Aloharan has left to meet with her political contacts within the city. Assuming that whatever business you needed Lydia for, you were done with. Because you remember before she was standing guard outside the door, so you didn't, accidentally kill Lydia.
Accidentally.
Accidentally. Okay, so, well, cool. Go away thing. I lost Lydia's fancy picture on my computer of, her in her, priest robes. So I'm just going to use her picture as is and describe it as need be. Alright, Order 47, Lydia Solemn. Oh, I removed her picture because I couldn't find it. Cool. Because she's not in robes anymore. Lydia is going to be dressed for the occasion in proper Sunyith robes. And she has a holy symbol around her neck. And the headpiece of her ensemble is on the bed. She's going to grab her staff as you come in and look back towards you. It is the middle of the day, I believe, or no, it's the afternoon. It's the afternoon. And okay. She's going to say, "Oh God, you're tiny dwarf man, Altus now." And she's going to look down at you and say, "It's gonna take forever for me to remember that form of yours." Okay, are you ready?
Yep, let's go commit political suicide.
And she nods and says, "I've made worse decisions before in my life. The first one, trusting everything my father said and gave me. The second, hiding from my responsibilities.
And we're here to correct the second one. Remember that."
You know what? Lydia's gonna perk up a little bit at that and say, "Yeah, you're right. Alright." And, you guys are going to, leave the, guild house.
I am, before we leave the guild house, going to put clothes on because this is a formal event.
Okay.
So.
Do you, borrow Carter's clothes?
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a bag, by the way? Like, can I find a bag in here that, like, I could just snatch?
Is there a bag? You guys have your guild house, inventory of everything that's there. And it's, on the drive. I will pull it up for you and look at what you have inside your guild house. If you don't have I was gonna say, if you don't have an adventuring sack on your character, you don't have anything. You don't have anything, Tracy. Okay, so luckily Carter did buy an armory package. So there are 20 sets of basic armor and weapons. You don't need any armor, but if you need a quarterstaff or a dagger or a crossbow, all of which Altus is proficient with, he could use any of those.
I'll take that crossbow.
Okay, there are going to be a month of comfortable necessities that would be basically ran out by now. And the guild house is kind of running on fumes as far as, soap and barrels of fresh water and food rations are concerned. But with that, there are going to be empty sacks. And you can take a sack. It's not going to be a backpack, but you can put all your stuff in it.
Is there, like, any rope around that, like, maybe I could tie around it?
Yeah, there's going to be rope in here. That's not something that expends on use, so that would have, been replaced. You can add 50 feet of rope to your inventory.
Okay, I'm going to fashion that
it's
into,
hempen
like,
rope.
a really... Hempen rope?
Yes. So you can add a dagger to your inventory, a quarterstaff, 50 feet of hempen rope, and a sack. Saccaronis.
I'm gonna label it backpack because I'm gonna use some of the rope. I would guess like.
Oh, and tie it through there.
Yeah, I'm gonna tie. I'm gonna craft a nice little backpack to put my stuff in. So I'm not just dragging a sack across the floor and being like, "Hey, don't look in there."
Well, you throw it over your shoulder. But anyways, yes, you are able to craft a sack pack.
Oh, that's what that's trademark now. You owe me $50.
50 golden sea coins right now.
You have a bag? What about a sack pack? Carry all the stuff you carry in your bag in it.
Isn't that just like a poor person's backpack? No! It's a completely innovative new invention. Which you can get away with because Alunagai is all about an invention and innovation.
Oh, I'm gonna build a dynasty of sack packs. I'll be rich because it costs nothing to make.
It costs the money Carter spent on this stuff. Alright, so, yeah, you've got your basic necessities of the few things I listed to you. Do you head out from there?
I do.
Alright, so, Velarla is still the dwarf who you borrowed the donkey from. Is still set up across the street selling fruit.
Okay.
She's going to wave at you as you leave and give you 2 thumbs up of just like, hey, are you, like, kind of, are you doing better? Type of thing.
I'm gonna stop Lydia for a minute, and I'm gonna walk over to her, and I'm going to say, hey, I've got something for you, but we could never call the guards on me again.
She's gonna look around kind of like uncomfortably and just shift her eyes away and say, I don't never try and judge the company Master Banecaller keeps in his guild hall. The figures are unsavory, but your business is your business. And she says, only earlier I called them for your help. I thought you were dying.
Even if I'm dying, if I'm on the floor, dead, let Dusty deal with it. Let the tiny man deal with it.
And she's going to nod and say, and she's going to say, was the fine substantial?
The fine doesn't matter. What does matter, and I'm going to turn away from her, and I'm going to cast the Summon Steed.
Okay.
Magical Grandeur with my hand.
So you are unfamiliar with it as you start casting it.
Yeah.
And Altus is recalling these components that have been like burned into his mind. You're going to... Well, actually, let me look at it to make sure I'm not telling you the wrong information. Because I'm pretty sure it has a casting time of 10 minutes, but that might just be because it's... Let's see. Find Steed. It does have a casting time of 10 minutes.
I guess I'll burn 10 minutes. I will let her know that, like,
okay.
I'm replacing something that I lost.
Yeah. So the incantation takes much longer than you originally anticipated, and it's like,
Okay.
I'm
guessing Lydia's just sitting there, like, tapping her foot, like, come on.
Well, she can make an Arcana check and recognize the spell. No, she can't. She failed it. Yeah, and she's just going to be, like, watching this event. And eventually, you know, the 10 minutes are going to pass, and this donkey is just weaving itself into... This celestial donkey is just weaving itself into existence. And I'm actually going to roll you a percentage die, and you're actually going to draw a crowd doing this. Like, several people walking by, bystanders and other people are going to just stop and just watch this donkey be conjured into existence. And by the time you get to the end of this casting, and you're summoning a donkey, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so by the time you get to this, do you make it look like the donkey you left behind?
No, I don't. I feel like that could backfire real bad.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and the donkey is going to come to and just be like completely conjured, turning from this yellow celestial light into like an actual like fur-covered regular donkey, and it's except it's got completely white eyes that shine with a little bit of light when it opens them. And this donkey is going to just like rear up, kicking its legs in the air, and just and the cloud's gonna start clapping at Altus. And Lydia is going to come over to Altus, and she's going to lean down and say, "I didn't know your new form came with paladin abilities."
I guess we're both learning new things today.
Roll me a deception check. And Valarla is going to start crying, like looking at this, and she's gonna say,
Please.
"I lost a companion of mine like this weeks ago." And
Damn it, Altus, why you gotta make me cry?
And she's gonna clap too and say,
Oh!
and she's gonna say, "Well done, Master Arcanist, well done."
I'm gonna give a bow and mention Sackpacks! Want to look like a great arcanist like me? Sackpacks! Coming to you near this corner soon!
At that, they're gonna kind of like, you know what, I'll roll you. One person's gonna say, "What's a sack pack? Is that the donkey?"
I'm gonna like throw the bag over my shoulder and kind of give like a little flaunted gesture, like get that little angular body going. Be like, as you can see on my shoulder here,
this bag looks hideous. But the only truth it is a burlap sack with hemp rope tied through it to make straps. And you're talking to people who look like Parisian fashion models. Like,
the new in is what's the old out.
Make me a persuasion check. No, actually, make me a performance check. Make me a performance check.
A performance? Let me find it real quick. Oh no, why can't it be persuasion? Oh.
So this is like the, why did that disappear? Here we go. This is like the pinnacle of Dockensdale fashion. Because Dockensdale is this beautiful coastside country, or city that lies on the equator of the world. And so everybody just, you know, dresses amazingly. And you're just like throwing around this sack pack, this burlap dinky sack that you cut holes through and tied a rope. And just like, it's the next hot thing. And your confidence is gonna persuade the one guy who asks the question. He's gonna say, "I'll buy one." And he's gonna walk up and say, "How much? 10 silver?"
I'm trying to think. Wait, there's silver? I thought we just worked off of gold in this world.
Oh, yeah, that's 1 gold. Well,
One
there is
gold,
silver.
ooh.
I just don't like doing things in silver.
No, we don't have to. We don't need to do anything in silver. Just a minute. I have to improve this a little bit. The stack packs cost a little to make, so we're really gonna have to rub a few coins together. And I'm thinking 5 gold with the fashion icon that you're gonna become. What this is gonna sell to the people on the street. They're going to know. You know what's in.
5 gold?
5 gold.
He is going to mumble at that and say, "Keep your trash keep your trash bag." We'll go shop at the tailors on Shield Way, and your crowd's gonna start dissipating.
Wait, he doesn't get to make another check for that? Come on.
You can
Give him
make
a
another
chance.
check. I'll
him a
let
check.
you. Yeah, I'll let you say, "Come back and make another check." But before I'm gonna, I was gonna say, before you make that check, I'm gonna put this at 30 because,
Oh my god! Because they're walking away. They're like done with it.
well, your sack costs 1 copper piece, and
No, they don't.
your
No, I meant like make him like to convince them to pay 5 gold. Not for them walking away, but
this is for walking away. And
Yeah, it's done.
no, this is why I'm saying it. Why this is unreasonable. 50 feet of hempen rope costs 1 gold. Your sack costs 1 copper. A sack
but-
pack only takes about 3 to 4 feet of hempen rope. So that's really about 1 silver's worth of that rope. If that, it's maybe like 7 copper. Altogether, this sack pack costs maybe 1
I'm
silver
going to
coin.
stand by my decision.
You're asking 500% or 5,000%.
somebody will pay that.
This will be Ilnagai's Gucci, alright?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Hey, okay, I'll just leave it there. Anyways, though, your crowd dissipates. Do you give the donkey to the fruit merchant?
I do. I tell her that I'm sorry for the donkey I lost, and an ass in its place.
She's gonna squint her eyes and say, "You lost, mister, I barely even know you. But thanks! I'll
Oh, that's right.
yeah, and she's gonna start stroking his side, and she's gonna say, "I'll take the best care I can of him. I suppose I can start moving my cart around the city again." Altus is gonna notice the fruit on her cart isn't very high quality.
Oof.
It's hard to get fresh fruit in war times.
I tell her I'll give her a free sack pack when I'm back.
Alright, Altus
Doesn't
gains...
know if that's a euphemism or not.
Oh my god, I didn't even think about that, no!
Altus gains the gift of charity, and
Oh.
she's gonna smile at your niceness. Also, you maintain a telepathic bond with the steed.
Oh, that's awesome! So, I have eyes on another part of Dawkinsdale at all times. Great. This worked out really well.
You can't see through it, but you
But
can talk to it.
I can talk to the donkey?
Yeah, and it can communicate back to you. It is not a donkey. It is a celestial
Okay,
spirit
so it's
shaped in the
okay.
form of a donkey.
Oh, cool. So I basically just completely deprided a spirit, and it's like you're a donkey now, and also
You
have to
help this
do
fruit
whatever I
merchant.
want. So there was a negative consequence.
You can only communicate with it telepathically when you're within 1 mile of it.
Okay. So I can check around where she's at by, trying to tap into the donkey.
Yeah, don't know why you'd want to, but that's
It might
congratulations.
come in use later.
Alright. So, expend the second level spell slot, and well, you know what? Actually, I didn't expect that to take as long as it did.
Neither did I.
At this point, like, the party is going to be coming up the street. They're going to see this dwarf that looks like the dwarf that you guys, reincarnated Altus as, talking to another dwarven woman, handing a donkey over. There's a Sunya cleric next to him. And other than the sack, all of these people are dressed very exquisitely. The party, though, is going to notice Altus, and Altus is going to notice the 7-foot-tall Ardorian walking down the street with the blue person.
Ah, friends!
We are kind of hard to miss in a crowd.
Yeah, you are. Lydia's going to look at the party and say, we were all just heading, or rather Altus and I were headed to Pramada Watch. We're trying to undo some of the harm I caused earlier.
What
actually...
Netra asked, what harm?
Yeah.
Lydia's gonna look away and say, well, I was Supreme Light for about 3 days, and 2 of them I hid under a desk. The country's facing a catastrophe that could cascade into unparalleled amount of damages and consequences for the rest of our city, or the rest of our nation. My actions were selfish.
Didn't take you for a one, but if you say so.
So, are you guys coming with? Because we got a court appointment.
Sure, why not? Or no, we're going to the library. Never mind.
Well, we were going to the one in Pramada Watch anyway.
Ah, okay.
And we are actually going to ask if Lydia or Loharan could.
Yeah, we're going to ask Gelsina a little hard. And
Where is Gelsina?
She's Lydia's gonna point upstairs in the guild house, just looking up to the tower that all the rooms are in. You can see Gelsina is planted against a window. She is watching the street, actually looking down in your guys' direction. Not at you guys, but just pointing at like all the different people passing through Illuminagai streets. Like, I'm letting you guys have this conversation here and talking, but like within 3 to 4 feet of either one of you, there are just, you know, streams of people constantly moving up and down Lesser Servant Way. And she's like pointing at those crowds. Lydia's gonna say, well, they really don't know what to do in a city this big. Lethe was always in outskirt towns, and Gelsina, you know where she's from. They've just been in their room. I've heard them talking all day, but they haven't left.
I'm gonna go upstairs and just sort of ask them in like a really chipper voice, like, how would you like to go to the library?
Gelsina is gonna say, I have no idea what that is, but I would love to.
I mean, there are places with books in this maybe not a library. Maybe not like a library per se, but okay, yeah, that makes sense. Never mind.
And Lethe is gonna like look around and say, I've never had a reason for reading, but it sounds like fun. And Gelsina's gonna say, oh, I'll teach you what all the characters mean. I read signs all the time in Isildred.
This is literally the blind leading the blind.
Well, I mean, we're here.
Lethe is not blind anymore.
She can see again, but we can still fix that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
eyes,
sorry, you
here's
said
the
Lethe.
Yeah.
Lethe.
Lethe is the blind girl. Oh,
Yeah.
the formerly blind girl. And Gelsina is the person from Isledred. You guys saved both.
I thought
of
you
them
meant a
from
little harm.
Kelsey.
Like, why would a little harm not read a book?
Yeah. Ilderon is not here. You guys have 10,000 NPCs. Alright, so, Icium, Celebris, Netra, Lumigrax, Altus, Lydia, Gelsina, and Lethe all head to Primata Watch?
Yep.
Okay. Alright, so, you're going to be able to make your way down Lesser Servant Way to the center of the city and into the lower levels of Primata Watch. Which,
Brandon,
yes.
was Lydia able to get the kids new clothing?
Oh, new clothing? Yeah, that would have been handled by Lysina. She would have bought clothing for everybody.
Yeah, because before we left in the morning, I had given them money to go get them clothes. I just want to make sure.
Aww.
They are not dressed in the murky filth. Actually, I'm gonna roll above 50. Well, 100% they blend in well with the Luna guy. Below 50%, they don't. So 35. They are definitely dressed like outsiders. With Lil Haran, or rather Lysina, buying them clothes that are much more modest than a Luna guy fashion, which is probably for the best, seeing as you know, they're probably not used to like the the scandalous nature of the country. Alright, heading to Primata Watch. You guys are going to go into the lower levels of Primata Watch and split off. One group heading to the knowledge reserves, and the other group heading off with Lydia. Well, even before you guys do that, as you try and get into... Well, actually, we'll do it as you guys try and get into the upper levels of Primata Watch. Which group is going where? I assume Netra, Gelsina, and Lethe are all going to the knowledge reserves.
Yeah, I'm going with them.
Okay. Icium. Evens, he heads with Altus. Odds, he heads with Evens, he heads with Altus. Alright, and
I will ask Grax to go with Altus and Icium so that way they don't do anything stupid.
You know that's not going to work.
I feel more comfortable.
I'll go with Altus regardless.
Plus, books make Grax hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Alright, so Altus heads with Lumigrax, Icium, and Lydia towards the upper levels. Which group do you guys want to do first?
I'm fine with them going first, since we're also missing Icium. Will you be chiming in, like how Icium would normally break in?
Probably.
Oh boy.
That said, the group that heads to the knowledge reserves, breaking off from the rest of the party, and I don't know why I did you guys first, because I just feel like we're gonna do this, and then in 10 minutes, the tower is gonna be on fire.
Yeah, not a lot is gonna be happening with the library people.
Alright, so heading into the library, we can speed this up. The Risen are the civil servants of Alonagai. Their purpose is to serve within the government, functioning as scribes, lore keepers, notaries, and everything within those faculties. They are also politicians and ideological legislators. Within their knowledge vaults, though, any citizen who requested access to any of their public records would be allowed access. and you guys aren't citizens. Not Lathy's a citizen of Ilderon Tales. All right. Oh, Lathy is legally declared dead in Ilderon Tales. None of you guys are citizens. So we will actually roleplay this because I can speed this up. So heading into the knowledge vaults.
Wait, but is Lydia not with us?
Lydia is not with you. Lydia's hanging off with
upstairs.
the other group. Lathy is the blind girl. She was a she was a Lil Nagian citizen.
No, but I thought we had another with us. That's why. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, that's why he's up too.
You have Gelsina, Lathy, Netra, and Celebris. That is your guys' entire group. Icium, Altus, and Lydia, and Lumagrax went upstairs. So, heading into the knowledge vaults, you guys are going to approach the first desk of Risen members. And there is just a long line of scribes and other citizens. Each person shuffling through this line, eventually getting to the front desk, asking for a specific public record or to see something, and being led into these vaults. The Risen members are all turning in forms that are being filed away, or books or ledgers that are being filed away. After about maybe 3-4 minutes, like they're moving efficiently, you guys get to the front of the line, and the member there is going to say, Ilyaria, what do you request of our services today?
We want to know what is a section that's full of recent history, where we can read up on like recent history of the past 20 or so years. Want to teach the young ones something.
Okay. And she's going to say, alright, and if you'll just sign this ledger here. And she's going to pull out a pre-filled out form of parchment for Netra. And she's going to say, this will be your... this is just the record of you accessing our vault on this day.
Okay, I'm gonna put name down.
She moves the form to the next person. Lathy is going to say, I actually don't know how to write. I was never taught.
I'll write for her.
Alright, Gelsina is going to take the quill, dip it in ink, and just kind of make a splotch on the parchment. And the Risen member is gonna say, that's not a name. And she's gonna say, oh, you wanted my name.
Yeah.
She looks at Netra making eye contact and then kind of like nods towards the parchment.
Yeah, and be like, yeah, it's okay.
I will sign for this one.
I mean, she can sign. She just didn't want to like give away any information, like just in case.
And Celebris.
Oh God. Yeah, he wouldn't know that this is not Kuth, so he'll sign his name.
All right. So, as you guys all sign that form, Lathy is going to look over it and say, and she's gonna look over it, and then she's gonna say, "What's it say?" Or no, she's gonna look over it and like she's probably not gonna say anything until you guys are away from the desk. And a Risen member is gonna like lead you guys over, and as you guys are like, do you guys follow the Risen member?
Yeah.
Okay. As you guys are walking away, she's going to ask, "What did that what did that parchment say?" I'm actually kind of excited to learn how to read.
Alright. Yeah, I just explained what it said. I don't see any reason not to.
Netra didn't read it. Nobody instructed me that they were reading it. It was a legally binding contract.
I mean, I assume that like putting your name. Come on, man.
The member leading you is going to say it's just basic precautionary, or it's basic measures for the Risen, just outlining the decrees of the Sky Queen and that the services that Ilil Nagai provides to its citizenship, and that you are partaking of those services. And once the records are filed and checked, that if anything's not found in order, that you agree to pay for any damages done or the or any of the legal fines associated with lying to government officials.
Cool. Glad we sorted that out.
Yeah, Gelsina is
Celebris is throwing his hand right over her.
You stop her? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They lead you into the vault. These below Pramada Watch are going to be about 5 floors of just the largest just public records in history and history sections that you guys are ever going to see. This place is gosh, I'm trying to think of a word to describe this. So there are going to be there are going to be 4 floors of this, and it goes down, dug into the ground. And the first floor that you guys are going to be on, it wraps around this place on the outside walls. Walking to the center railing, you can see down to the next floor. The next floor is actually going to be suspended over the middle of this place, with sections of walkways going across these floors. And then the floor below that is kind of like when you put a slice of cheese on a sandwich, and you know how your cheese is a square, and you lay it down, and then the next one you angle, and your cheese becomes a star because your 2 slices are in different directions? That. Yeah. I don't know the word for it. But anyways, that goes down for 3 floors that you guys can see up from the floor that you're on. 4 floors in total. Books line the walls of this entire place all the way down. You guys can spend the day here reading, but just going to, like asking any Risen member for anything relating to history. You can go to sections where there are public decrees by the current Sky Queen, events of Risen members recording deaths of emissaries in other countries, deaths of diplomats in other countries, missions that diplomats were sent to other countries, Sunyith Order deployments, and just anything to make up and constitute every missed event that you guys have had. You are going to be able to find here.
I would also, I don't know if they'd have it here, but basically looking for something of an easier read to try to help the girls actually learn.
The scribe who led you, you can actually request that of her and she'll read to them. As far as teaching, she's going to... here we go, I've got to roll this now. Because she's going to suggest they join her school. She is going to suggest that... I'll just roll 1 through 5. 5. She's going to suggest they join the School of Discipline. And that education in the Ilderon Nagai is open to everybody. That would be the best place for them to learn.
We'll think on that, but... Oh, God. I just realized this scene where that's happening now. Netra and Celebris probably look like adopted parents.
But you didn't hear this? That's what I thought we were going as when you brought them up. That's why I said try and teach the girl something.
Yeah. So Celebris will just say we'll look into that. But do you have anything just simple that I could help them start with on my own?
All right. There is going to be a book on a filing system that basically goes in and talks about the characters used for it and how everything is sorted. I actually made Ilderon's filing system, but didn't think it was important, and I don't know where those notes are at. Yeah, and using that, you can basically give them a basic understanding of how to read. And it's not going to be comprehensive whatsoever.
Oh god, no.
Yeah, but
especially in a day.
Yeah, it's basically just gonna talk about like concepts and how things are filed according to like old tongue concepts, and using those you can kind of say like, oh, these characters and these like sounds show up consistently throughout Ilderon's history, and here's, you know, what they mean and then like what they look like. Anyways, though, do you want to roll a performance check to teach them, and then we can move on from there?
Oh, that's probably. I mean, my charisma isn't terrible. Sure, but I'm going to use my inspiration on it. I'll call it ahead of time.
Roll me a performance check, but substitute your charisma for your intelligence.
It's the same.
Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, no, actually it's one less, so it'd be a 14, not a 15. Sorry.
A 14. You're gonna know Lathy is picking up... Well, Lathy is picking up on this rather well. As far as, like, you know, old man Pam would read to her and her brother at night, as was, you guys found out, tradition in Isildred. Oh my god. Pam still has that stupid book. Anyways, I forgot about that. But yeah, that he would read to her in Isildred at night. And then Gelsina, you're going to be able to tell the lesson really isn't sticking with her. She doesn't know how to read. She's more so memorize what certain things look like. As far as when you get to things that sound like storefronts, like, you know, she told you she used to read signs of, like, all the places she went in Salvage. Like, she remembers things that sound like stores. Like, when you're just like, oh, this relates, and it's like, oh yeah, I know that one. But she doesn't know anything else that you might mix this character with that character. And, yeah. Anyways, yeah, you teach them a little bit to read. They are going to roll an intelligence check every time you guys try to teach them on this. I'll just roll whenever they get 5 successful intelligence checks each, that they'll have a basic understanding of reading. So far, Lathy's at 1 and Gelsina's at 0. Yeah, we'll move on from there. And you guys spend the time inside of the library teaching them. Altus, Icium, Lumbergrax, and Lydia head off to the upper levels of Pramada Watch. You guys, Lydia's going to direct you guys to a set of guards of risen members of discipline, and she's going to say, "Excuse me, we'd like access to the petition chambers." And the guard's going to nod and lead you guys towards the petition chambers. And this is the large room that you know, the Supreme Light sits and hears all of the cases of citizens being presented to her each day that require her decisions and her judgment. And this is going to be a just huge room filled with maybe about 200 people waiting in this open kind of like throne-like room. At the front table, though, is not going to be Supreme Light Pramada. It is going to be some light of the Sun Yith, because they're definitely dressed in Light's clothing. But Lydia's just going to be the first one to say, "That's not her. Oh, where would a Supreme Light be during the day if not listening to petitions?" Icium's going to say, "Well, the country is at war." And Lydia's going to say, "Snap! You're right." And Lydia's just gonna nod and say, well, when we get to the front of the line, we'll just ask him to take us to the Supreme Light. That will be our petition. She goes to wait in line. Icium is going to lean over to Lumbergrax and Altus and say, this is gonna take forever, guys.
Well, that is bureaucracy, but it's what you're great at.
Grax grunts.
You say that's what Icium is great at?
Yeah, taking forever.
He is, he's going to say, alright, I've got a plan, but I need you guys to listen to me.
Does it include jailbreak?
Does it include jailbreak? And he's gonna say, no, better. And he's gonna look at Lumbergrax and say, Lumbergrax, look at your hand, okay?
Lumbergrax looks.
There's nothing written on your hand. It's washed off a long time ago. From all of the rain in Isildred. And when Lumbergrax looks down and he's confused, Icium is going to say, oh, yeah, that's right. And let's see. He doesn't have a quill or an inkwell on him. So he is going to grab a Risen member who's walking by and say, I just need to borrow that for a second and take it out of her hand. Okay, so he does not have a quill and inkwell on him, and he's just going to borrow one from a Risen member as like they're walking by, like taking it out of her hand and say, I just need that for a second and I'll return it. And he's going to write on Lumbergrax's hand, hold up Lydia.
Wait, he wrote what?
He writes on your hand, hold up Lydia. And he's and he's gonna say
that literally. Or...
yeah, and he's
Grax picks up Lydia.
And he's gonna just wait. Oh, okay. Plans in action. And he's gonna point at Altus and say, do the things with the lights and illusions. Make it spectacular. And he's going to just call it to the chamber and say, ahem! Citizens of Illunagai, brave adventurers have ventured into the unknown, and we've came back with the missing Supreme Light, Lydia Solemn herself, kidnapped out of her cell. You said you were in prison? Lydia, who's being grappled by Lumbergrax and picked up and hoisted into the air now, is going to say, yeah, I was... Can you put me down?
Grax looks to Icium.
So what's Altus do? Does he cast anything to help in this display?
In this play, I'm going to cast an illusion spell of that vampire guy from Isildred.
So he asks for dancing lights, and you give him an edgy vampire boy instead.
This is the enemy. This is what we're fighting.
Is that what you say?
Yes. There's more. This is a large conspiracy, and this all falls into him and the original, the ones who caused this happening.
All right. Somebody's about to roll a performance check. It can be Lumbergrax, it can be Altus, or it can be Icium. But you guys are providing the help action to whoever is. Okay. And Icium is going to say, we demand an audience with the Supreme Light. Pressing matters of Illuminagai's security as an entire nation and its people's lives depend on the information that we've brought back about this. Pointing to, dramatically, to the illusion that Altus has conjured. This evil overlord lurking in dimensions unknown. People are going to, like, people are going to start like looking around and mumbling to themselves, and Icium is going to say, "Guys, I think it's working."
I'm going.
Go ahead.
Oh, is that a good idea? No. I'm trying to think if that's a good idea to say what my brain tried to do.
I set Icium on fire. Supreme light now.
Grax whispers if you can put Lydia down now. To Icium. Because he's still
Icium.
holding him up. Holding her up.
Yeah, Icium is going to say, he's going to think about it for a moment and say, I think we made our point.
I will step up and say we're being besieged by those from other dimensions and those. We have to stand with the true Supreme Light to handle this.
And at this moment, the light in charge of this chamber is going to call from the other side and say, "Silence! Bring her here!" A crowd is going to part, and
Grax picks her up and brings her there.
Simba, my child. No, a crowd's gonna part and just make just the ocean making a path through these people to the light's pedestal in the front of this chamber. Lumagrax just strides through this crowd carrying Lydia. And Icium and Altus are going to follow. And he's going to look down at her and say, "You wear a Sunyith member's clothes?" She nods and he says, "And your name?" She says, "Lydia Solemn." And he nods and says, "And will you submit to questioning and the truth of our goddess?" She is going to nod. He steps down from the pedestal to Lumagrax's level. He begins incantation of a spell. Anybody who wants to make an Arcana check to figure out what it is, you can. However, everybody standing next to Lumagrax and Lydia need to roll a Wisdom saving throw. Lydia willingly fails it. BT dubs. That first one I rolled was Icium's, and that's the only character I'm controlling.
Alright, let's pop those suckers on in.
Alright, so Altus is going to fail. Lumagrax is going to fail. You guys are affected by Zone of Truth. You cannot knowingly speak a lie. You can lie, but you cannot speak it. Your speech will cut off if you try to.
Can I plead the fifth?
Yeah, you don't have to answer his questions.
Just speak in grunts, Lumagrax.
Anyways, though, he's gonna say your name again, and she says, Lydia Solemn, daughter of Supreme Light Iman Solemn. And he's gonna say he is the Supreme Light no longer, child. She nods, and he says, "How did you escape your cell?" She shakes her head and says, "I didn't. I was kidnapped by figures in the night. People commanding strange shadow magics I've never seen before." He inspects her for a second, and then nods, and says, "And for the crimes you've committed against against the little guy and her people, will you serve the rest of your sentence?" Lydia nods and says, "If it's commanded of me."
Are we about to have Jailbreak Part 2, Electric Boogaloo?
He's going to say, where were you taken to? She's going to shrug and say, "I don't know, a destroyed city. I woke up in a cell. When I got out of it, everything was dark. It was raining. we fled for our lives, and we unfortunately had to use dark magic to get ourselves back to Illuminagai.
We rescued her.
And he's gonna nod and say, as your companion said earlier. And he's going to look at Altus and say, what was entailed in this rescue of yours?
Dangers, threats, and being kicked in the face by a monk.
He's gonna nod and say, in this place where she was held, do you know of it?
I do. We were there. We rescued her. We saved her from that hell.
He nods and says, I'm about to go plead for the Supreme Light's time, for each of you. I would like to be able to make a case as powerful as possible, when I do so.
They're controlling the people there by food. They cut their markets off. They have to collect shiny things that it amounts to so much most of them starve or are hung. There's a lot of hangings.
And he's gonna nod and say, where is it?
It's nowhere. It's in another dimension.
And you can't lie. And he's gonna like tilt his head and say, what? Lydia's gonna say, I'm not really sure how we got there, but I couldn't do anything. I got my hands on a holy symbol. I had no way of praying to the goddess, no way of contacting her, no way of feeling any sort of connection to the holy powers I command. He's gonna nod and say, petitions for now shall be postponed until the evening.
And Lydia will say in our protective order.
And he's gonna say, you four will be coming with me. Everybody in the chamber is gonna start an uproar of just, you can't! Please, we need blah, 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 and this rambunctious of just, desperate people in desperate times not being able to call for, ask for assistance. With that said, the guards nearest the front of the chamber is going to stop and hold the crowd back. He is going to gesture for you guys to follow.
I guess we do. We're
All
in the
right.
lion's den now. They can't back out.
He is going to lead you upstairs to a room Altus is familiar with. You remember that interrogation room that you
Got everybody out of trouble in.
yeah
That everyone seemingly loved to forget.
that you interrogated the Supreme Light in.
Yeah.
Supreme Light Solom. You yelled at him, and then you walked out, and Elena walked in and killed a bunch of people.
I remember
Did you know you were torturing the Supreme? That Lydia's dad was the person you were torturing?
Oh, I wasn't torturing him.
He wasn't torturing him. He was interrogating him. Altus found out. he was
Or
a criminal.
rather, what
Yeah,
does
we
Lydia
knew
know?
the lineage. We knew.
Yes,
What
Lydia.
does Lydia know?
Yeah, Lydia knew. She was on her way to question him,
Okay.
and interrogate him. And the party asked her to get something from her room. She went upstairs to get something from her room, and Altus walked in and interrogated him, and then walked out. And there was a spellcaster there by the name of Elena Lidelia that Lumagrax recognized.
Who saw through my illusion.
Yep.
My deception.
She saw through the illusion magic you were using, and she summoned a chimera inside the room. She killed all of the guards. Well, she didn't kill the guards. The chimera killed the guards. She grabbed the Supreme Light and teleported out of the room, jailbreaking him from his capture. That said, coming back here, Altus is going to know this is one of the interrogation rooms in use. The light with you is going to knock on the door, and As he does, there's going to be a Risen member who comes to the door, another member of Discipline. She exchanges a couple quiet words with the light, and then she steps back inside. Each time the door swings open and close, you guys are going to see there is a woman that almost looks like she's withering away. She is tied in silver chains, and her hands are over her head as the chains are attached to the ceiling. Inside of the room, are a bunch of guards, just in the corners of the room, much like Alta saw when the Supreme Light was being interrogated. And you guys see this every time the door is opening and closing. And the door's going to open, and blankety blank 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 is going to step out. Here we go. Supreme Light Lyra Pramada is going to step out and say,
There's a lot of light there.
Yeah.
Brandon,
Wait.
a lot of the characters you just shown us have a certain characteristic about their clothing.
Oh, yeah, you guys, I told you guys you're in, so you are in, Ilderon Nagai.
Capital of the world.
The reason why this is on the equator of Ilderon, they get year-round sunshine and year-round heat on a coastal country. Ilderon Nagai fashion is less of clothes and more like a collection of strings. I've said that several times.
He has.
Come on, guys. Pay attention to the plot, not the plot.
Yeah, there's two big plots in front of you. Anyways, though, Supreme Light Pramada is going to step out into...
Would recommend
Jack is
heading
not
over,
looking
though.
at her eyes.
Yes.
She will kill you, and she is dating a vampire. Don't get yourself killed.
Wait, is she dating the bad boy?
She's not dating the bad boy. Anyways, though, you guys are going to... She's going to step out into the hallway, and she's going to say, Light Aaron, you better have a damn good reason for interrupting this interrogation. I've been trying to get information out of this, Gosh, what is she? I've been trying to get information out of this spy for 2 days, and every second I get pulled away from her. He is going to bow and say, Your Grace, Lydia Solemn has returned. And she's going to look over to Lydia and say, I put it... word. She's going to say, I put a bounty on your head, twice the size of your father's. I don't know how you broke out of your cell. And before she can continue, the light is going to say, Your Grace, she was kidnapped. Lyra is going to be taken aback for a moment and say, I'm sorry. Well, welcome back to Pramada Watch, but I don't see why this concerns me. Put her back inside the dungeons and let her serve out the rest of her sentence.
I'm going to step forward and say there will be no dungeon.
Oh, no.
You're suicidal.
Contesting a Supreme Light's judgment. Didn't think we'd do that one right off the top, but yeah, we did. Lyra is going to step forward, looking down at Altus, and say, when you're addressing the Supreme Light, we have the authority of the Sky Queen herself and the High Prophet of Light, who is in charge of the given wills. You will address me as Your Grace or Your Lady, and nothing
I stand
lesser.
by my Supreme Light that I rescued, that my fellows have rescued. We are here to plead for this nation's survival, not for these bureaucratic games.
She is going to say,
Leave him to die.
she's gonna say, if you want to plead, then plead, and you better beg damn well.
Oh, that's intimidating.
Grex ship's 2 steps away.
Grex, no!
Are you still carrying Lydia?
I gently put her down.
Just push her out in front, like, yeah.
In between me and Altus.
All I could think of was just Lydia looking over her like, why?
And
Lydia!
then I take 2 more steps.
Lydia is going to read this situation, and she is going to just like look at Altus, look at Lyra, and then just get down on her knees and say, "Please, Your Grace, we've traveled between worlds. It's an experience we can't even put words to, but we only come begging for help. We just..." and she's gonna say, "What is this squabble you interrupted my interrogation with?" And Light Aaron's gonna hold up his hand and say, "Please, hear them out, Your Grace." Go ahead.
I'm going to say, well, first I'm going to nudge Icy talk, and then I have a thing to follow up with after.
Are you bowing?
What do you mean?
Like, Lydia is now kneeling on the ground with her, like,
oh, okay, so this is on me.
I'm saying, are you telling Icium to do the same? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, I'm going to interject.
Icium, like, is gonna read the situation too, and he'll step forward, and he'll take a knee, but he's not gonna get in that full supplicant position that, Lydia has. And he just goes down to one knee, like, and tilts his head down.
Thanks, Icium.
And he's, gonna look at you with, like, he's gonna make eye contact with you, and then look, like, eyes towards, Lyra, and then nod, as in, like, "Come on!" You know, like that.
I will sequester, and I will bow down, and I will look up, and I'm going to start with, this place that we have rescued her from is horrible. It's awful, and the things that they're doing to these people are insane. And they don't plan to stop there. They plan to come here. We have to stop it. She has seen it. She is a key for this. She needs to be stay out of the dungeon. We need your help. There were hangings. There were guillotines. The people are being starved. And these same threats dare to threaten your great country.
And she is going to nod and say, "I see. So you've come to ask permission to use my armies to liberate this place, wherever it is, this desolate, dying city."
To liberate and prepare for the war that's coming to our coast.
And she's gonna say, "The war is here, and I'm fighting it every minute of every day." And she's gonna look down at Lydia and say, "No thanks to this one, they were able to get inside of our back door and start destroying our countryside, destroying our food reserves, and threatening a famine for all of Dantach." Lydia is going to apologize and say, "I'm sorry, Your Grace, I wasn't prepared for leadership."
I'm going to look back at her and tell her this is your time to correct things. This is when it's right. This is the time to make it right.
Lyra is going to exhale and say, "Perhaps I'm being too harsh on you. You are still but a child. Iman spoke highly of your skills, though." And Lydia's gonna look down and say, "I'm not sure how many of my father's words I can still trust." Lyra's gonna say, "I feel the same. For that, we're in agreement." And she's going to say, "You want my armies, but I can't spare them right now. I need every single soldier that I was able to put
one raiment
together."
will do.
She shakes her head and says, I'll do you better. I'll give you an entire battalion."
I want Kalandir as our commander.
Making demands like that, and she's gonna say no.
I'm going to say I have fought with her. I know her prowess, and they know me as the hero of the battle we fought.
And she's going to say, by no means are you in any position to request such a thing.
I'm not demanding. I am pleading to fight next to her.
I'm gonna roll Lyra a morality die on that. Actually, I'm gonna do it as a save. Above 14, she is going to say clearly you've been through a lot. Still, when you address a supreme light, it is your grace.
Your grace.
And she's going to nod, and she's going to say, I can't spare any of my army currently. The Sunyeth orders I can command the few that are stationed within the tower. But other than that, they are the high prophets to command as an army. My personal forces are locked in a border war with Arder Sarai right now. However, the opportunity has come to negotiate a ceasefire. But I don't have any diplomats that I'm willing to send across the border to that war-hungry country. None that I can trust to come, or none that I can spare, if their heads were to be returned in a basket. Lydia is going to look up with a tinge of fear, and she's going to say, however, I am aware of the services you did for our nation inside of Arder. Ayman informed me of them. Ayman informed me of them, Lydia. And at this moment, you are expendable to me. You can choose to either rot inside of a jail cell, or try and make up for what you've done to your country and do something positive for it. Carry my message, and if you can negotiate peace between, or if you can negotiate a ceasefire between Alil Nagai and Arder, I'll give you a battalion, one of yours to command. And that'll free up the rest of my forces to come back and clear our countryside of this filth that's embedded itself inside of our nation. Isium is going to say, but she's just a child. You can't expect her to make that journey alone, and with no order protecting her. Please, Your Grace, be sympathetic. And she is going to look at you and say, I'll spare you the judgment of the sword for your insolence earlier and interrupting my interrogation. And instead your punishment would be to accompany her. Lydia is going to say, you're very merciful, Your Grace. It will be done.
I bow and just, Your Grace.
Mm-hmm. Lyra is going to open the door and say, and she's going to look back at Light Aaron and say, see to it that the Risen of Elegance know where she's going, and that I'm sending her in our stead. If they wish to send a member of discipline with her, they shall be allowed to do so. I want you to formally brief these individuals on the situation between Arder and our country to make sure that they proceed with the utmost caution and they're equipped with the knowledge necessary for this task. And she looks back and says, Lydia, if you fail, it will be your head. Lydia nods and says, I'll try my best. And she's going to say, do even better than that. And she's going to close the door and head back into the interrogation room.
I'm going to turn around and just be like, well, I think that went pretty well.
And Lydia's going to nod and say, battalion might be a decent enough start,
If we can show the people that there's a fight to be had, maybe we can get the people to fight for their country.
Aaron, our light Aaron is going to step forward and say, if you'd accompany me, we can go over what you'll need to know. And I'll give you a letter of pedigree.
So I'm off to Ardor?
You're off to Ardor!
Oh boy! New things to burn?
Alright, so let's fast forward this, and is everybody cool with going for 15 more minutes?
Yeah.
Alright, so the light is going to take you into a chamber and draw up a scroll that you are negotiating on behalf of Supreme Light Pramada, acting with her authority, appointed leader of the regions of Ilderon Tales she rules over are the Shattered Lands and now the Dawn Touch. 2 of Ilderon Tales' 6 gubernatorial regions, or gubernatorial, I guess, and that you guys are to be negotiating for a ceasefire. He informs you of the conflict that Ardor is, that Ardor and Ilderon Tales are, Ardor Sarai and Ilderon Tales are fighting over. It started with a border conflict, particularly a region in Ardor called Doredge that lies on the border. A bunch of bandits kept crossing the border and robbing Ilderon Tales caravans and making a killing off of the trade roads leading from Dockensdale, and almost compromising the Nazaram cause, as Ilderon Tales is the gold benefactor behind Nazaram. Ilderon Tales basically provides the money that keeps the world safe. And a bunch of bandits in Doredge were pillaging that money. Ilderon Tales, Ardor wouldn't address the situation and bring Doredge in line. And Ilderon Tales responded by putting 40,000 troops on its border to protect the caravans. And Ardor responded in tow by upping the military presence at its fortress from 30,000 to 70,000. That said, an Ardorian fortress was attacked and exploded. And after it was, a group of Ardorians attacked an encampment of Ilderon, and the war broke out in full-fledged viciousness. Ilderon Tales has a amazing general commanding its forces, and they took the city of Doredge, burning it to the ground and stationing a fort out of the ruins of the city. Or not of Doredge, of Hellenis. And from there, Ardor Sarai called in one of their ascended gods that is re-sieging the city. And she hasn't been able to take back Hellenis yet because of the Ardorian winter. The Ardorian winter is coming to an end, and Ilderon Tales cannot hold the front of this war much longer. Especially with an ascended god on the edge. Ardor has also called for about 120,000 troops to return to its country that are going to be there within the month. So Ilderon Tales is looking for either a ceasefire for the time being and to open up negotiations on Ardor Sarai paying back what was done in damages to Dockensdale for these caravans pillaged, or a decisive victory within the coming month. Either options will suffice, and you guys are going to pick up through the Supreme, or not the Supreme Light, the lower lights, words, that if you guys were to accidentally off an important Ardorian official or two, probably wouldn't be a bad thing if it means the enemy or the army can't, properly mobilize against a little guy. Anyways, and he tells you, that. So that's fast forwarding through that information, and he's going to give you the scroll of pedigree and tell you your task is on a deadline of a month to get this ceasefire negotiated and to be back in Ililnagai. I think it's like a 7-day journey to the capital of Ardor, and that you should start preparing to leave. So yeah, you guys are equipped with that. By this time, the party is going to be done spending about like an hour and a half, or maybe about 2 hours, teaching the girls how to read. And you guys are going to be all leaving... you guys are all going to be leaving Pramada Watch together. You are gathered in the bottom entranceway of Pramada Watch. Both Icium has a scroll of pedigree. Altus has a scroll of pedigree, and Lumagrax has a scroll of pedigree. All saying that you guys have been commanded by Supreme Light Pramada to guard Lydia to the city of Ardor within the country of Ardor Serai, and it is as a penance for potentially compromising the security of Ililnagai from pulling her away from the duties that need attending to. That said, Lydia has a scroll of pedigree, saying that she is a emissary, acting on behalf of Lyra Pramada. The party joining back together, Gaelsina and Lathy are going to be practicing just words of just like Shah means this, Gin means this, and just spelling them out to each other. And Netra and Celebris are going to see the other members of their party all look like they've seen a ghost. Well, at least Lydia and Icium do. Altus and Lumagrax can look however they want. But you guys are all back together.
Oh, boy.
Yay.
How did it go?
Well... We're
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna direct the question to Lydia. How'd it go?
How did it go? It went well. I don't believe that. How did it go? Lydia is going to say, well, they're not going to throw me in jail for abandoning my duties, but I do have to negotiate peace between Ardor and Ililnagai, or else I'll be executed. So it went about as well as it could have gone. She nods, looking to Altus, and says, the goddess will watch over us.
Of course.
Wait, so if you're gonna go to Ardor Sarah, then that means Celebris. Celebris is an Ardor, right?
He's an Ardorian.
Yeah, so like it would help if he went too, right?
Yeah, you
would like to join us on this quest we were sent on and not punished with.
Lydia is going to say, really? It felt like a punishment.
No, maybe she's just playing tough. She's playing hard to get. Icium was there.
Icium is going to say, yeah, Ardorians love glory, right? It's going to be glorious. Imagine if you're the one who negotiates peace between Ililnagai and Ardor. Right? Right?
I'll put it this way. Looks Altus square in the eyes. You are not going anywhere in my home without me watching.
Oh. Okay.
You're small now.
About me.
You're small now. I could pull your body parts off you.
I'm just wondering where this anger came from.
And I would allow
towards
it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know what he's done.
And what have I done, Celebrate?
When I first met you, you were literally threatening to kill a child to resurrect her to cure her blindness.
Hey, it was a cure.
That was my first interaction.
What have I done other than threaten a child?
The means justify the end. Or the ends justify the means.
Icium is going to say, yeah, see, look how well it worked on Altus. I mean, he's a little shorter than he was, but for the most part, he's still all there. He taps Altus's head. Or pats Altus's head.
Not to mention... I might be able to help.
And that's what we're looking for. A way to solve the conflict between these two countries as brothers in arms.
I have good rapport with Magne Bertolf.
I'll pretend like I know who you're talking about and say that's great.
Who is the leader of this country?
You asked Lydia that?
I look at Altus. Or more of a general question, anyways.
I'm gonna pretend like I know and say, that's great.
Icium is going to say, because he served in the Queen's Court, and he's going to say, why, her Grace Sarai, or the Sky Queen Sarai, Risen of Elegance. Or Risen of Grace, Risen of Grace.
That is who Ariana Bertolf is in our...
And
Great.
Lydia is gonna say, yeah.
I'm one of her knights, and I worked directly under her. I have good rapport. I might be able to help with some provocation, with less provocation.
Either way, we'll find a way to get it done. We have a month's time, so we probably should get to moving. Mm-hmm. This is timed. We will have our heads cut off. It's an anti-reward for the quest we were given.
It's like a reward, but except instead of getting something, you lose something.
And I know as happy as you'd be for my head to be cut off, poor Lydia here would have her head cut off too. So we have a month.
Altus, I want you to understand something. I don't hate you. I don't want you dead. I don't know if you even remember, but I've put my life on the line saving you twice in Kelcrest.
And I remember, and I'm appreciative.
That doesn't mean I trust you.
Oh, trust is not something I've asked of any of you. Well, except of Icium, but...
I watched one of my best friends almost killed by one of my teammates. I will do anything to protect the people I fought alongside. That includes you.
And I accidentally killed my mentor. So I vow to try to not accidentally kill my friends again.
Lydia's gonna look side to side and say, oh god, I'm gonna die.
Celebris, seeing her worry, is just gonna do the Kelkin salute, stand up straight. Need not worry, Lady Solemn. You have not only a Knight of Ardor on your side, but also a member of Kelkin. I will put my life on the line to make sure you make it there safely.
You have a wrong to correct, Lydia. We'll all make sure you make it out of this alive. Because it is kind of our fault that you got put into that situation to begin with.
I'm not taking blame for that.
Correct, just allegedly.
Celebris just stands in place, looks at Grax, and goes,
Icium is gonna... talk. Yeah, Icium's gonna elbow Grax and say, Grax, look at your hand. And it's like, yeah, we all are gonna go along with this. Iceon...
I pick her up now since you told me to look at my hand.
Yeah. And Iceon's gonna be like, no, play along. Play along.
And I'm picking her up. that's what's on my hand.
I just see Lydia start crying.
Netra, do you want to come with us?
To Ardor?
Yes.
Sure.
What about the tiny one? Oh, well, I guess we're both tiny now.
I'm
Actually,
afraid to ask where the hell Dusty is right now.
Cut away.
Gelsina is gonna say, well, he only knows one place that's safe in this city.
Yeah, but
probably
Dusty's
has to
not
come
the
back
one
there
that
at some
would know
point.
Safe.
Mm-hmm.
Gelsina, I was going to talk to you about this later when I eventually started making my journey home anyways. And he's going to kneel down to be kind of eye level with her, which
Who else
probably
is going on
still
this
not that, close. You want to come with me and learn to be a Kalkin member and fight for the people trapped still inside your home and save them?
And she's gonna think about it for a moment, and she's gonna scratch her head and say, I mean, I just kind of want to explore and see more of that, pointing at the sun in the sky, and says, everybody at home's real happy.
Well, if you come with us, and I can teach you some more about reading and everything, and you can see much more than just what this area has. There's plenty to see.
This
is just a small area.
Yeah.
The world is much, much bigger than that.
She's gonna nod and say, yeah, let's go to Ardor. Let's go to Ardor. Wow! I've only heard about that place as a story. She gets a big smile on her face.
Somewhere in Ardor, Anderson is here. As his adopted son has now got an adopted daughter.
That makes him a grandpappy. Pranene, you asked the question as Netra, and then we're gonna finish up for the night.
Sorry, what question? I missed it.
If
I was going with that?
You asked something, but Anthony was talking. I just didn't hear what it was.
Who else is going? Who else is going to Ardor?
Pretty much everyone, I think.
Lydia is going to gesture at the party and say, well, the border's not really safe, and the Supreme Light's fighting a war on multiple fronts. She doesn't really have personnel that she can expend. So you can kind of think of us as suicide messengers. It's our job. We either do it or die.
Well, I hate death, because I've died. So, yeah, let's get this done.
Yeah, let's end there for the night. Actually, let's end with, what do you guys want to do for the rest of the day? It is the evening. I assume you guys want to probably gear up for some sort of trip, and then go and help and make sure Carter gets the drug situation solved. Or...
I actually want to get some equipment.
Okay.
And I would have to tell the Kalkin office about the situation.
I'm gonna head to, where would be like the most private place I could get?
There are private alcoves inside of waiting rooms inside of Pramada Watch.
How private? How not listened to?
Well, you know, the Goddess of Death took Lumigrax into one and basically gave him a quest to kill somebody.
Yeah, I guess I'll go into one of those. I'm gonna put into the book that I'm being forced to go to Ardor. Sorry, World of Warcraft hit for a second.
Forced to go to Ardor. Okay, you write into the book. The text is there, and then it washes away after about a minute.
Ooh.
Okay, and so we'll pick up with a shopping section next session, and hopefully, God, you guys can just pick up and leave and go to Ardor, and you know how incredibly mad Carter will be when you get my worst.
That's the plan, guys.
No, Celebris wouldn't do that to his friend.
Me and Ixiom and Lydia will head out early. You guys can catch up. I got fines I don't want to pay.
I mean, that is how the group walked into catastrophe last time. Of just
True.
One rushed off and the other one's like, "Can we take our time?" All right.
My gold.
So we're gonna end there for the night. A peaceful session in Dockensdale. Oh gosh. And we'll handle getting gear next session. The resolution of whatever happens with the drug den of next session. And
I know what happens with the drug den.
Well, you know what happens specifically with one item in the drug den. That doesn't. You guys haven't solved the drug problem of the drug den. You solved a. Yeah.
I don't know. Charging Rhino through the building might cause some.
You guys
They don't
charged
care
out of
about
the
that.
secret entrance, though, so that's the one reason why it's kind of okay. They're not drug addicts. They are high-class Ililnagian citizens indulging in the finer things in life. But anyways, for this session, your guys' let's do experience. Gosh, accepting, returning the donkey, the telepathic donkey, and it is going to just periodically communicate to you, like, is this what you beckon my divine purpose for? Is to pull around a
this is your life now.
But anyways, returning the donkey, I'm going to give you guys experience for that. The conversation at the Kalkin office, most people hate the Kalkin members because they are very gung-ho to kill rather than, taking time to...
one I know.
Please, I'm fine with killing when it's necessary. If you want to see a Kalkin member that hates killing, meet the dwarf in Group D.
Yeah. Then also, I'm going to give you guys experience I'm going to give you guys minor experience for teaching the girls about the world of Ilderon. And then I'm going to give you major experience for Lydia in her scene, what is that thing? Getting her to come to Pramada Watch to face what she had done, face possible judgment. Then I'm also going to give you guys minor experience for playing along in the extravagant display. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but this is kind of a theme of yours. Like at the gala, how you guys just kind of yell, "Gather round! You, do some magic! You, stand up and look heroic! Ixiom, tell a story of our heroism." So I'll give you guys minor for that, and I'll also give you minor for accepting Lyra's quest. Because you could have full well just been like, "Nope, we're not doing this," and then become fugitives in Dockensdale and run away.
We were stuck in a room with her. No,
you were in a hallway with her. You were in a hallway with her.
Oh, I thought we were in the interrogation room.
No.
Well, that changes everything.
Yeah, I want to set that stone hallway on fire, specifically the carpet, then the tapestries. Oh, go ahead.
I thought I was in the interrogation.
Okay, I'm going to give you guys 800 for each major event, so that's 2,400. And I'm going to give you guys 300 for each minor event, so that's 900. So 3,300 experience tonight. Did I miss anything else important that happened? And I'm going to give inspiration to Altus I'm gonna give inspiration. I'm actually, for everyone who showed up tonight, inspiration to Lumigrax for holding up Lydia. Inspiration to Altus for being a primary role player of tonight. Celebris for your conversation at the Calkin House and helping to usher Netra back in. Netra for her fuming rage at the lack of the greater picture the Calkin have. Yeah, your next session, and then we'll be done for tonight. Your next session is going to be on the... Please? Okay, let's see. My calendar is not staying open, so I can't look at when that is. Your next session is going to be not the 7th. Oh, on the 14th. Okay, that's easy to do. 7 days from that. On the 14th of February? Is that... Oh gosh, that's Valentine's Day. Do you guys need to reschedule that? We can do the 7th if everybody can make that.
Okay.
Okay, your guys'
next week instead?
Yeah, your next session's gonna be next week.
Okay. How much did we get tonight, Brandon?
I don't remember. 3,300. 3,300. And your next session's on the 17th. Everybody who's watched, thank you for watching, and I'm gonna go to end card. There we go.
Brandon, you know that thing we were talking